kids, right?
Yeah, exactly.
But, you know, you see these kids now, you know, sitting at the table, texting each other, completely absorbed in their video game systems, and just...
It's sad. It's sad.
It's sad.
I'm sorry, but I find that it's a strange world that we're living in.
Yeah, and we're becoming part cyborg, right? I mean, these kids easily get a chip put in them in the next, you know, decade or two that will help integrate, you know, integrate their games into the back of their retina or something, and you never need to see the light of day. So, you know, we live in interesting times, and you know that's an ancient Chinese curse, by the way. May you live in interesting times.
Well, we're very cursed then.
Yeah, it's we all picked, if you believe in that, you know, we all picked this time and place to incarnate, you know, picked our parents and picked this era for you know, one reason or another. And you know, and again, if you're into that kind of storyline, then what the heck are we doing? Right, and so we have some big choices. We have some things we need to do. I mean, the way global economics and the way our geopolitical systems are working are absolutely not in line with what a lot of the philosophers are saying. You know, guys can stand up in front of the UN and say whatever they want. When push comes to shove, if we need oil, we're taking it, right? And you know, or the Chinese are going to get it, or the Russians are going to get it, so we better take it to offset that. And there's all these crazy, you know, the animal mind, this geopolitical posturing, all comes from a lack of enlightenment, right? You get some enlightened individuals that say enlightening things, but they're not the ones in charge because the real politique, you know, dictates it, and you know, there's money, there's arms, there's drugs, and all these kinds of things that are being run by people who are either dark in their consciousness or very unenlightened, right? And so again, that brings us back to where we all need to be. Start waking up. Everyone, you know, the quicker more and more people become enlightened and become lights unto themselves, then this cycle of dreary darkness starts to snap, right? But standing in front of some riot gear, hose apparatus in front of the World Trade Organization, whatever it is. I mean, you just get pummeled and arrested. That's not. I'm not seeing that work. I wish it was, right?
Much of what's happening today isn't working, and I do believe that that's all part of a very old system that's broken down and can't be fixed, and it's in the process of crumbling and imploding on itself. So it's going to be up to us to figure out what kind of world we want to live in. And are we willing to live in a world that has perpetual wars, that has corruption and sex trade and graft and, you know, all of the things that we see around us? I personally am not willing to live in a world like that. I'm not sure what it takes to change it, but as you said, there must be some kind of critical mass or 100th monkey theory that will tilt the scales in the direction of consciousness and conscience. And possibly also, you probably are aware of this, because the things that you do encourage telepathy and other intuitive skills, don't they?
Oh, absolutely, absolutely.
I'm sure of it.
Those are a byproduct of just waking up to yourself. But I think I know where you're going with this. I mean, you look at the world of quantum, and the more people who start to collapse the quantum wave, and the more people that start to really see the world the way it could be, the more that becomes from a possibility to a probability, and the more that probability becomes reality.
Yep.
So absolutely, the telepathy and the understanding and the prayer, I mean, these things are all wonderful, right? And these things all need to be done in a much more dedicated and concerted fashion. And again, I'm not a kumbaya kind of guy, right? I'm a scientist, and I'm a spiritualist, and I'm everything in between. But show me something works, and I'm into it, right?
Yeah.
And so let's start to do more experiments. There's some great stuff. The Maharishi Institute's done some great stuff. I mean, there's some genius people doing wonderful things out there. And so it's actually, on the flip end of that, and I'm also not the dark side's one kind of guy. We are at an incredible crux and a turning point where there's just some incredible people doing incredible work, and as these awakened, enlightened projects all start to kind of come into the global consciousness, I do believe that the internet has a big part in that. Then it's going to start tipping the scales, as you had discussed earlier. There's an incredible amount of light and awakening that's coming through from people just waking up on internet channels. Now, that doesn't mean there aren't a bunch of kooks and crackpots on the internet saying whatever they want to say. That's the Wild Wild West, baby. You got to be able to discern and understand that there are very motivated, money motivated, politically motivated, any kind of motive. I mean, there's all kinds of motives out there.
I think you said something that relates to that, and that is that as you awaken, you begin to see what's true. It's just an intuitive feeling that you get. You don't have to go to the Encyclopedia Britannica to do the research. When somebody says something, it just resonates as truth, or it is not true. There's something wrong with it, or you get this kind of gut feeling. And we need to start telling each other the truth, like like the girl that worked in the fast food place.
God bless her, man. She saved
I love that story.
Kid's life. Yes,
that is just so wonderful.
Yes, it's up in your face honesty, and that's how trance mentality works. You don't say anything about my alcoholism, and I won't tell people that you're cheating on your wife. These kinds of tacit deals, right? That everyone's kind of like doing all this crap, right? And hiding stuff from each other, and having these kind of horse trading, as we call it in Washington. This is crap. And the more we can snap out of it and call each other out in a loving and enlightening and in a helpful way, the more we can stop perpetuating this nonsense and holding each other to what you're calling, the truth.
Absolutely.
The truth. And you're absolutely right in saying, and it's almost paradoxical. I mean, we're going to go around in this circle for an hour, but what it boils down to really is what we started talking about at the very beginning of this conversation, which was, listen, don't take it from me. Pedram might be a nice guy. He might talk too much. He might be just another guy, right?
Yeah.
Do these exercises, meditate, or do some other exercises that are proven to work. Meditate and wake up. And then there's no argument. There's no need to get into all this semantic kind of bickering that people get into. Enlightened people just look at each other and nod.
Well, doesn't it integrate the duality of the yin and the yang? It becomes a one rather than a unity instead of the division. The division is an illusion, which once you are enlightened or you are awakened or in the awakening process, that you move beyond duality.
That's it. It's the duality consciousness that is reflected in one's mind. The duality consciousness that drives one to move in an imbalanced way is just I guess the Catholics would call it an aberration. It's a separation from understanding what this universe, what God's creation, whatever you want to call it, is truly about, right? And so duality consciousness is the mark of the primal falls, the disease, right? Yeah. So once we start to snap out of that pathology, then all things come whole, all things come back to center, right? And that's when conversations needn't even be had, because the truth is the truth is the truth. Go ahead and find it. Right? It's right here. It's right here. It's right now. You want to know the truth, go ahead and close your eyes, breathe, and listen. And first of all, what you're going to find is all the noise and the chaos and the reactivity of your mind and all that. And once you learn how to kind of clear all that and start to tune in and listen, it's just right there. It's right there. And, one of the pushback I get from early meditators and students who I work with is, I tried to meditate and, it didn't really work out for me. And I said, I tried to, fly a F-16 fighter plane and it didn't work out for me. What do you mean, man? It takes practice, right? If it was easy it wouldn't be that interesting.
Absolutely. Well, listen, we have flown by, speaking of flying, this hour has just flown by talking to you, and it's been a wonderful hour and a very enlightening hour. And I wanted to make sure that you have time to tell everybody, the listeners, where they can find you, what your website is, and also what's going to be the title of your new book.
Okay, well, the title of the new book is Work in Progress. I like a specific title. We're still working it out with the publishers because, and I'll go ahead and mention it just because I like it enough. I like the title Rise and Shine, Taoist Alchemy, Qi Gong, and the Spiritual Science of Waking Up. And it's a threefold approach because the first is, kind of in the Gurdjieffian sense, everyone's asleep and we're trying to get people to wake up. And
I studied Gurdjieff for a while.
Yeah, oh, sure. And, people are asleep, and, Milton Erickson would say the same thing, and everyone's in a trance. And then from there's the level of the muck, right? Everyone's kind of getting burdened by all of their history and their personal trauma and all that. And so I teach all of these very specific techniques to kind of rise out of that gunk and kind of shine it through so that you can let go of the baggage and get on with the abundant grace that life really is. And then it kind of bridges into the tertiary application of the title, which is points to the star seed light body ignition systems of, say, the Egyptians, where you actually bring up your vibratory frequency to a point where you're igniting and you're on and you're enlightened to thyself, and you literally become the sun, S-U-N, of God, right? You become that. Right, good. And so and I'm involved in a bunch of projects. I'm actually I'm the producer and host of a movie we're doing actually with Sacred Mysteries because I love those guys.
They're wonderful.
They're doing good work, and they're not cowards, and they're telling it like it is, and that's why I work with them because they're just the best. And so we're doing a movie called Vitality, which is a documentary on health, and the platform is, we've heard enough about this health insurance crap. What these guys are talking about is health finance reform. They're not talking about health reform. They're not even talking about health. What we want to now talk about is health assurance, right? And we're talking to a number of very notable individuals in Eastern, Western, integrative, all kinds of medicine, and we're going to kind of create a salient argument for what health is to be in the future outside of this kind of government-controlled kind of crappy model, right?
Absolutely.
And so,
well, listen,
and
for just
that's
out of time, so would you let people know where your website is so they can find you?
Of course.
We'll have to back and talk again.
Yeah, of course. TAOISTpath.com. www.taoistpath.com. Check it out. Subscribe to my blog. I'll let you know what we're up to. We're doing all kinds of fun projects. So, listen, I had a great time. You're great. This was a lot of fun. And so
good. Me too. I thank you very much. And when you see Sharon or Jay, say hello for me because they're terrific people.
Will do. Yeah,
all right.
They're the best.
Thanks a lot, Pedram, and thanks for all the work that you do.
Oh, you know what? It's all I can do, so God bless. Thank you very much.
Exactly. All right. Good night, and good night, everybody.
Good night.